Things always tend to get a bit ugly when a fighter can't digest their loss inside the octagon, and that's exactly what happened after UFC 272. It definitely seems like Masvidal is not over UFC 272, as he was seen sucker punching Covington outside a restaurant in Miami. Keep watching till the end of this video as we uncover the incident. First up, a not so peaceful dinner. It seems like Masvidal still hasn't accepted the fact that Covington beat him fair and square at UFC 272. Now, usually after a grudge fight like Masvidal versus Covington, the loser posts a couple of tweets and shares a video on Instagram claiming he'd do this and that in a rematch. It's almost a little embarrassing, to be honest. Like, sit down, please. But in this case, it would have been better if Masvidal had decided to stick with some tweets and a video. Instead, he's made it very obvious that his beef with Covington is not done yet. Now, if you're Covington after UFC 272, you want to relax, soak in that victory, sit with your friends and have a few drinks along with a nice meal. And to be fair, Covington deserves that much. He fought his heart out at UFC 272. He completely dominated Masvidal despite winning by unanimous decision. So Covington was chilling at Papi Steak, a restaurant in Miami with Bob Menery and the Nelk Boys. Apparently, Bob shared a video of Covington on his Instagram and wrote the name of the restaurant in the caption. Why is this piece of information important? Well, we're guessing this is how Masvidal found out where Colby was in the first place. Anyway, as soon as Colby stepped outside of the restaurant, Masvidal ran from the side and landed 2 sucker punches, with one landing on his jaw and the other on his left eye. Both the fighters' entourages stepped in and broke up the fight, but things were still pretty aggressive. Colby actually ended up fracturing his left tooth as a result of that sucker punch. Since things were far from settled, the police showed up and took away Masvidal because of his aggressive behavior. We're guessing he wasn't detained or arrested because he posted a tweet later that night. You should have just done that though, instead of showing up at the restaurant and sucker punching your opponent, Masvidal. Covington, on the other hand, was seen in a video surrounded by police after the scuffle. Afterward, the victim of this fight used Marzi's Law and invoked their right to not be identified. Such a tough one. I wonder who this victim is. Next, the real deal. Now, we're not saying this was actually happening, we're just putting forward a theory. Masvidal is at the final stages of his career when you think about it. He's 12-8 in the UFC, which isn't exactly the best of records. Maybe he just wants to make a lot of money while he's still in the promotion. Even at the UFC 272 pre-fight press conference, he talked a lot of smack, and then he goes on about McGregor talking too much. Not to forget that he showed up to the conference with a golden suitcase. When a fighter brings a golden suitcase to a pre-fight conference, it's either going to have money in it or something really absurd. Masvidal pulled out a limited edition trading card of Covington and said, "It's for sale to the highest bidder because I'm about to make a lot of money off this guy." That's not exactly what he said, but we'd rather not quote him word for word because he's a bit of a loose cannon. So what's the real deal? We're thinking Masvidal is trying to get the most out of his fights by creating a lot of hype and drama. Maybe this confrontation outside Papi Steak was another drama to get a rematch in the works. Unfortunately, his last act didn't sit too well with the MMA world. News is coming in that he's now being charged with felony battery. Up next, going at it on Twitter has become a norm in the UFC these days. And if you were to ask us, some fighters shouldn't even be allowed to tweet. Take Masvidal's Twitter, for example. After the fight, you'd expect him to at least apologize to the promotion and his fans for taking matters outside the octagon and handling things in an extremely unprofessional way. But instead of doing that, he retweets a video of the scuffle and calls it the Show Your Face Challenge. Honestly, that's not funny at all. You're literally being charged with felony battery. A little while after, he tagged Covington in a post and wrote, "If you talk that shit, you've got to back it up." Someone please help Masvidal get the picture. He already backed it up. Inside the octagon when he outfought you in every single way. Soon after, a lot of influential figures from the MMA world joined the Twitter feud and expressed that they had nothing against Masvidal, but the way he handled things was very disappointing. Let's see how Dana White reacts to Masvidal's outdated intimidation techniques. Considering how it just gave their beef a whole new perspective, Dana might just attempt to squeeze some more dough out of this rivalry. It isn't the first time a fighter has taken their unresolved business outside the octagon, but it isn't exactly healthy for the promotion. It just lets fighters know that Dana isn't going to do anything about it. We're hoping the promotion takes some action because from the looks of it, Covington showed no aggression at all. Now, in other UFC news. Want a murder scene? The notorious Conor McGregor has always been an ambitious fighter. In fact, it wouldn't be wrong to say that he's the most ambitious fighter in the promotion even today. Now, McGregor hasn't exactly had the best of performances in the last couple of years. It's been fairly rocky for the Irishman. He lost twice to Dustin. He lost to Khabib in a high-stakes match, and he also broke his leg. It has truly been a journey, and you'd expect him to be a bit humbler by now. But nope, the Notorious is back with his wicked ways. And this time around, he's eyeing the welterweight belt. He really wants the Kamaru fight. He's been training hard for it. If you look at his current physique, you can easily tell he's looking to come back in the welterweight division. But what's the point of speculating when he's made it clear? McGregor's ambition has no limit. He wants to become the first triple-weight champion of the UFC by taking the belt away from Kamaru Usman. In an interview with Mac Life, a channel on YouTube, he said he didn't see Kamaru as a threat. In fact, he sees it as an easy opportunity to put another record to his name. McGregor also said that despite injuring his leg in the last fight, he feels really strong and healthy. When asked how he would defeat the #1 ranked pound-for-pound fighter in the division, McGregor had a clear answer. He said Kamaru was on the older side and didn't have any ground ground game. On the other hand, when Kamaru heard about all this, he just laughed it off and tweeted, "You guys want a murder scene inside the octagon? Next, they don't pay enough." Ex-UFC fighter Paige VanZant had made quite a living for herself after quitting the UFC in 2020 to join the promotion Bare Knuckle FC. Paige was a rising star in the UFC and world of MMA, but she had one major concern: the pay. While her contract with Bare Knuckle FC was very lucrative, she still earns more from her fan site than all of her fighting contracts combined. Talking to MMAfighting.com, she said that she could retire tomorrow and be financially free for life. Even her kids could be financially free if they wanted. When asked if she'd ever return to the UFC, Paige VanZant had a lot to say. She said that she loved the UFC for making her into a household name. It gave her a platform to move on to better things in life. The stunning bare knuckle fighting is really popular on social media and has even appeared on the famous TV show Dancing with the Stars. But Paige said that she would never fight in the UFC again because it simply doesn't pay enough. So the whole wage problem is real. Maybe Jake Paul is right. Lastly, closer than it seems, Khamzat Chimaev has been going hard at Dana White to book him into a title fight since he's pretty much unstoppable right now. Smash Bros Darren Till and Khamzat Chimaev recently met for a dinner at which the trio discussed the future of the Chechen fighter in the UFC. Dana White has finally agreed to give Khamzat Chimaev a title shot provided he convincingly beats Gilbert Burns at the next UFC event. Do you guys know what this means? We could be seeing Khamzat vs Kamaru this year, and that would be a fight no one wants to miss. That's it from our side, folks. So what do you think? Does Masvidal have a game plan to retire big after his public confrontation with Covington? Will Dana White take any action against the fighter? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting videos. Thanks for watching and see you next time.